Vision records everywhere, and yeah, we're doing well here. I guess you girls like how have you been with this thing? Taking it easy for now.
I've been good. It's been nice to get some time to do like you know just work on stuff, work on art, work on uh, gardening, just like a little bit of everything.
We
It's
all went
been
back to that.
yeah, yeah. No, it's been good for me at least. It's been
And you, Ultra K?
yeah.
Uh, I'm still alive. I'm very happy to be still alive. It hasn't been easy for me to be honest, but because I guess the creative part and all the time that you can invest is cool to have, and it's invested as much as I can, but I don't have as much as I would like because I still can work, thank God,
There
and the
you go.
universe. But it takes part of my time. So mostly COVID has been more like an intentional way for me to discipline myself and to keep on, to keep on trying to keep a schedule making sense to my mind because, of course, I want to do everything and I only have 24 hours a day. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's been a challenge, and the greatest thing about it all is really that a lot of us are really still on this wave of time and creation. So it's no need to say how much we have support each other as team. We haven't stopped creating. We have productions coming up. So it's not really a matter of being inside the house or not. We can
Sure.
still do music by distance. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very nice to keep in touch with you and with all the friends, all the lives and everything. And it's very nice for us, the Cosmo Talks, now to feature you like one of the first Cosmovision artists based in Montreal. Well, no, the second. Unga was the first Cosmovision, but you are the first
Unga.
girls in the crew who are now in the Cosmo Talks, and it's that's like an honor for me.
Yay!
Yay!
It's like you're super cool. So I want to know more. I want to that everyone knows more about you, and we can start with you, Anna, and where you come from. What's your deal? What's your background as a person, as an artist, as everything?
um. Well, I've always I've always liked to sing. I've always been doing like music on my own. And I was born in Venezuela. I came here when I was like around 8. Um, and yeah, so I grew up actually in Toronto mostly when I
Whoa.
was younger, and then I came to Montreal when I was like 19. Um, and I've just stayed here. It's been
Can I
like
ask you
I've been
something?
here.
So,
Yeah,
do you define yourself a Toronto artist, or is it Caracas, or a Caracas artist, or a Montreal
Caracas, yeah,
artist?
or Montreal.
Yeah.
I
Ooh.
I I I'm more with Montreal, I think,
There
because
you
I
go.
because I I've been here for like all of my adult life. So I feel like as an artist, the stuff I've done here has been like more. I've like developed myself here more so than in Toronto.
Montreal has a
But I
vibe,
think
right?
of myself as like a like Latin American Montreal fusion. Like um, yeah, that's where my roots are. So
That's super. What about you,
yeah.
Ultra K?
Hey, it's a long story.
But making sure.
Okay, it started in 2000, so we can start from the 2Ks.
Yeah.
I came here for the first time when I was finishing my school in Mexico, and I had really not found a job over there. There's 21 million people in my city, man. I love my city. It's something I will always keep in my heart. And I do consider myself, you know, binational. Like I really have two nations, even a third, because I'm always saying that I'm an alien. But I don't. I think I would consider more myself a nomad for that because I was never able. I have not been able yet to just choose one language or compose in one language or choose one style. Uh, it's been the main challenge to always fit, when they say you have this style or you play this type of music. But what opened me more the doors was really the multicultural part of the city, and it's of course, I guess for everyone that steps in Montreal, that it's a universe of multi-diversity that's huge and almost infinite, I would say, because you keep on finding interesting people, you keep on finding
Yeah.
spaces to play, interesting people. But it took me a while. I got here in 2000, and then I became Canadian just last year because I say why not. Um, but it's not really important for me the nation, to be honest. I think that's what makes us more multi choice, multiverse.
Yeah, multiverse.
Mm,
Hey, Anna, you
uh-huh.
are a trilingual singer, aren't you? Almost.
Uh, Actually, I've never really sang too much in French or English.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think probably in the future, like I'll try to do some, um, yeah, some different just to like
Just a
just to
try.
try,
Yeah.
But I think so far I feel like more inspired to write in Spanish. I don't know. I think it just feels more natural,
Yeah.
like because it's more of like my, I don't know, like emotional language maybe. Um,
Mm.
and yeah, and so
Yeah.
and I think a lot of the things I write about are like rooted in like also just like a long just like a my history, so it's like more connected to the Spanish parts.
You have that beautiful. It's for me. It's admirable. We were talking the other day with another friend about you, about the
Oh,
groove of the way you sing. You have the Caribbean groove, like conejito te lleva. It's Caribbean style.
I
Ultra.
guess, yeah.
We like the conejito. We like
Oh, it's
conejito.
Oh,
heat of the
yay.
summer. And you,
Yeah,
Ultra, you
totally.
are trilingual, like crazy trilingual singer.
I invent languages even. Yeah.
Yeah, you have your own language. Sure.
Yeah, no, that's not a limit. In fact, I was obsessed at some point, and I would have some producers telling me, "Look, you cannot do this all the time. Like, you have to choose one language." Because I would become like, "Oh yeah, look, I made this song," and I would call it, I don't know, I don't know, "Where Are You?" There was a song that I composed, one of my first songs that was called "Where Are You,"
Uh-huh.
and then it would change to "Donde estás tú? Who es-tu?"
Oh, wait.
So we would do a bunch of thoughts that in my mind would make sense to do that challenge of saying, okay, well, I'm doing a song for what is this theme, or I'm writing about this, but I need to make this sound, in the phonetics of it.
Yeah.
It's like make it sound the same, make it sound melodic, and make it mean the same. So I had a few songs like that, and they're all like on like super like 10 years ago SoundCloud. But I think that's what gave me the confidence to just feel in whatever language I could feel. And it's true what Anna said. Like you had certain language that's more emotional than the other.
Yeah.
Uh, but that also, for me, for example, that also makes what I'm writing about. So I can write something about I would only can and feel in English, or can only feel and explain in Spanish, depending on what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's been fun. Like I have enjoyed that a lot, but I don't do that anymore. Like at most I combine two, and I go like, okay, one little word here and there, so you don't get confused.
You're really singing Franco Spanglish. Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Anna, so going back to the music talk, you started because you do other things as well apart from music, right? You do some like
Yeah.
visual
Yay.
art. You do some like all these kind of textile creations and everything.
Yeah, I've always liked to just make I don't know, just like use different materials and like I've always been kind of crafty, like making like my own clothes a little bit when I was younger, and like just experimenting with things. I've been painting for a while now.
Uh huh.
So now I'm doing portraits mostly, and
Nice.
yeah, I've been painting all of my. I've been trying to paint all of my like aunties from back home, and aunties that I meet here too. And yeah, that's been really cool because it's like an inspiration for me to try to like commemorate like these you know strong, beautiful women that have you know lived so much. Um, and yeah, I work with some fabrics too. I make some pouch like fanny packs with
Uh huh.
my friend from this artist collective called Las Lobas Collective.
Woo, Las Lobas, we love you.
Las Lobas, yes.
Oh.
Ow. And we do
what is Las Lobas?
so Las Lobas is it's an artist collective of women, and we are mostly POC, and we work in different things. Like all of us have, some of us do photography, some of us do more like installation or painting or textiles, or music too. There's two of us that make music, and yeah, it's really just we really like help each other to just work on projects, and just like it's like a really big support system, and just it's been great. We've been making we've been together for about a year and a half now, so it's still kind of new, but we have a lot of we're working on a lot of things for the future. So
It's we can find them in Instagram, in Facebook, and everything to buy some of
Yeah.
your stuff there. It's beautiful, all the things. You
yeah, at laslobascollective.com, or on Instagram we have an account, las.lobas.collective.
make. Yeah, perfect. Nice,
Yeah.
nice. So check out Las Lobas, everyone. Buy some stuff from Las
Oh,
Lobas.
yeah.
And Ultra K, like following
Yeah.
the conversation about music as well.
Mm.
There are like so many things, because Anna is really very multi-talented in this way, and you in another way you have other like talents that you've developed since a long time ago, like with your band in Mexico. You opened for Garbage, for La Ley. You were in super big scenarios there in the Mexico DF. How
Yeah.
was that?
I was very little.
The
I was only
beginnings of
like,
Ultra K in a
It
in a
was-
short in a short.
I don't even.
Baby
I
K.
don't even know if that happened anymore. You know those memories that go like, did that really happen? So long. No, it was 1995, 1996, and I was really just 18, 17. But yeah, my life started from a rocker because my mom herself is a rocker, and she was founder of the first band of rock and feminine, like a female rock band in Mexico City in the 60s. And so I grew up seeing my mom playing drums with all my aunts playing bass and trumpet and all these things. So I grew up like going to rehearsals, going to the radio, going to TV. So for me, being on a big stage was never like, whoa, I'm on the stage. It would be more like, oh, I want to perform this, And I guess that was the end of the band at some point, because I I find that all of us as members made a big thing for the band, but that was meant to be it till there. Like that gave us a lot of confidence to each one of the bands find their way, and that's when after maybe 3 or 4 years after that, I moved to Canada because I was finishing my back. Also, I have a back in advertising. I studied publicity, and I finished that because I needed to finish, honestly, because I really wanted to go more into music. But you know how Mexico is; it's like full of people, so you need to work too.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I ended here with a bunch of projects. And being an advertiser let me go more for digital marketing and visual arts, but more in the electronic digital part of it. I also paint, but I'm more like a painter for I like the flower. I'll do the flower with my aquarela, and I can do nice stuff. But I'm more devoted to the computers. Like I love machines, and I can spend hours creating images and processing photographs and stuff like that. I also have my project myself. It's called Cult to Kate, and it's really inspired on all this folie. It's really inspired on Frida Kahlo because I also do portraits, digital portraits of my friends and myself. In fact, that line started because I was advertising myself. So I would do portraits of me, combined with motion and retouch more images. And then it became more like an art piece of give me a photograph, I'm gonna do this. And I started to work more with processing photographs. And now it's just a trend. Like I have my motion animation kind of project online, and that's it. I'm really combining it all to my shows. But the one that I guess the most or the favorite part of all this attempts, has been the digital marketing, like all these new fashionable ways of changing images and make them move and almost talk to you.
You two girls are super talented, eh? Because you do a lot of different things and you participate in different projects. That's very interesting because I guess sometimes one can tend to be a little bit kind of just focusing on one thing and like a super specialization stuff. But you see this kind of feminine energy that is a bit more wide, so you can like manage quite different things. Like as I say, us
Manita,
guys we're a
manita.
single core processor. As multi-core processor. Yeah. That's super cool. Hey, Anna, I wanted to ask you something as well. Because I know you started singing, like kind of releasing material, not that long ago. And how's been that? Like singing, getting to know all the scene and everything?
Yeah, well, it's been I mean, like I said, I've always had these kind of I've always been musical, but like the just recording it's been a few years that I started to record. And yeah, it's like performing is something else entirely. I find like it's
Yeah.
it's another thing that I'm still kind of getting used to. Yeah, like I never really, I don't know, I never saw myself as like or felt so much like a performer. It's all been more like in my inner world of like melodies and and just like all the music that I really love. But yeah, it's like a process. I see it just like another thing that
You're super good at it, Anna. You should just you should know
that's
this
so
because
sweet.
I was I have to say this. We were streaming the other day, and there was a time that Onga and Anna started their set, and then I'm listening to Unga. So everyone's excited, looking from home. It's like, yeah, this is our stream. It's like, where is Anna?
Oh, that's
And
so
he's like-
true.
And he's like, she's right there, and I'm like, well,
When is she gonna sing?
That was hilarious.
Yeah,
That was so
Yeah.
funny 'cause you guys
I know,
ended
yeah.
playing and dancing together and making such a big, fantastic set of your music. Like I loved it. I really felt you guys
Uh,
that day. I like you a lot. You know that. I love you so much.
We love you a lot. Yeah.
uh, well, yeah, that day, I think we just didn't get the all the technical things worked out for the mic and stuff.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I really appreciate that. It's like
It was fun to watch. It was really cool. All the things we do.
Girls, I want to ask you
yeah.
something regarding it. This can be kind of a more tricky subject, but it's important to talk about as well because these are new times and everything. How do you feel about being a Latin American woman in the world of arts here in Canada, in North America? Do you find it tough? Do you find it complicated in one way? How do you find yourself in a world really different to Latin America in your case, for example, Ultra, or and you, Anna, you are a bit more of an activist in this subject. What do you think? Let's start with Anna.
Tino, I don't want to
Let's
talk
start
about
with
it.
um. Well, I guess I find like since with Cosmo Vision, like in the electronic music
Uh-huh.
scene, I feel like it's mostly like it has been mostly male dominated. That's what it is still.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
feel.
yeah.
It's not
So-
true.
Yeah, I'm sure Ultra
You are
K
free
has
to
had
say
lots of
whatever you want to
experience with this.
100%.
Fine, continue, please.
So I mean that's just one thing that I that I've noticed because I'm new to this scene too. So it's not like something I just noticed this. So I mean, yeah, I think it can be like, I don't know, it can be like a little bit hard to I guess like make your like place in it and like feel
Exactly.
like respected in the same way sometimes. But I mean, yeah, I this is not like my, like I haven't been in the scene for so long, but I can definitely see, I've noticed that. But yeah, in general, like I try to, like with Las Lobas Collective, especially like we definitely try to just put a lot of emphasis on like the power of femininity and just really support each other, and like each other's visions and things that might not be like in the realm of the norm, or like the the accepted, like more like masculine kind of view of things,
Sure.
So yeah, I think it's like an ongoing process, of like
Cool.
just and putting yourself out there,
Yeah, it's interesting what you say because you say it's like it's a male-dominated scene, but then I was thinking while you were talking, but all the scenes are like that kind of.
That's the
Apart from
planet,
the
the entire
LGBT scene,
planet.
right?
Exactly.
Right.
So it's the planet
Yeah.
we're talking about, guys.
And I was thinking, like, for example, in our scene that we're Latin American, all of, the three of us. At least in our, like, in the Latin American scene, you see tons of women, like singers, musicians, and everything. But if you go more to, like, I don't know, the rock scene in North America, that's like really not that much. Well, I talk a lot about the tropical
if
scene at least.
Yeah.
What do you think, Ultra?
It could be very open. If you really dive in the net, there's a lot of music and there's a lot of people and there's a lot of girls.
Yeah.
But the mainstream, if we talk about really just the scene, which is still the stream, is if we talk about our city, it's really mainstream and it's really festivals and it's really open doors. A lot of festivals. But the locals tend to have less jobs because all these big artists from everywhere in the world come
Yeah.
to Montreal, and so they take all the scene and they get all the pay. But that doesn't mean that we cannot. I mean, I've seen some of us going through the big scenes there and be in the festivals, but I've never seen a girl
Not that
yet.
many in
And the girls
Montreal,
and the
eh?
girls that I know and the girls that I know are not in the electronic scene. Are a few, and they're there. They're out there. I could name them, but I don't want to forget anyone. So I know there's a lot of them working,
Yeah.
and I can even say that I know most of them and know how much or how hard has been for them on the track. But it doesn't matter. Like, I think it's a matter more of time. Like, we just mentioned, it's a process, and we probably will not leave it ourselves. We will die, but the generations after us would start to give more perception to feminine. Like, it's happening gradually, and it's not something that's gonna be by a movement or a collective or like a one day to another thing. It's been happening from, I guess, the beginning of the century. But because we are humans, we take time as it is, and we see everything long, and oh, this is never going to change. But I think actually it's changing, and I think there's a lot of input for females also opening their hearts to just uh, not being victimizing themselves, because there's also a trend of girls that tend to be like, oh no, this is us and this female, and like everything is the extreme,
Hmm.
the extreme of the thing. And I think that's cool too, because it's part of the process, but it's not balanced either. So there will be a moment, and it's gonna be the technology that's gonna help us get there, that the music will be more selective, and people will be more educated to just go there and click and find what they want. It's happening now. Now that people is really obligated to be in their homes, they're obligated automatically to be listening to more music to find more things. And I personally have found, wow, treasures online. And I have found also that people that I've never thought listens to my music, uh, because you're there, you're in the net, and you're clicking here and there, so
Yeah.
you start to do more movement. And from the time I started with Cosmo, I really haven't stopped, because I had this pattern also in my mind that everyone would call me Latina, and I was not a Mexican anymore. I was not even me anymore. I was just an immigrant and Latina. So
Whoa.
I was at some point even, like, not really sure that I want to do even Latin music, because I never did that to
Hmm.
fulfill my need to do music. I've never
Yeah.
got into the Latin part
Latin
until
vibe.
I got Cosmo. That opened me the heart so much that I kind of, enter this universe of Latin sounds and world music.
Yeah.
And I had done an album from dub before, so that opened a lot of the beats and all the experience that I have acquired. And so that's my opinion. Yes, it is very controlled. It's very male-ish, but there's a lot of girls working on it currently. We have Laura Ossi from Syncronia Montreal
Ooh,
that's working
Laura.
hard.
Yes.
She's really working hard for making that even for female and same lineups, 50-50.
Yeah.
And let's not forget about uh, the gay community, the transsexual community. Like,
True.
there's a bunch of people that's working on it, just to be
Yeah.
authentic. And it's not a matter of sexuality even anymore. It's just about expression and integrity. So maybe one day human will understand, but we're getting there. Yeah, we're getting there.
Nice. It's beautiful. Beautiful
Mm.
words. Um. Yeah. Well, like I want to know more about you and your experience about in Cosmovision Records, right? Since we started, you started giving a few hints, Ultra K, and I would love
Ha
to.
sido hermoso, hermoso,
Hermoso, Cosmovision. You have a funny story with
hermoso.
Cosmovision for sure. And Anna, like, I would love to have your vision about your vision about Cosmovision. How do you feel with all this project? Like, how did you start? Like, how was your experience with us? Like, because you've been with us since we started. You're in our first. You are one of the singers of the first release and the first song of Cosmovision. That's it.
Yeah,
Number one
man.
song
Oh, that's true.
that's
That's
it.
true.
Look at that. Ramon with Ramon Chicharron. A big hug to Ramon. He just released his new album, Los
Nice.
Pescadores, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Big
yeah.
hug to Ramon as well. But you, Ansoara, how's been your experience with Cosmovision Records? What do you think? How can we improve as a collective, record label, everything?
Well, I really like I agree with what some of what Ultra K was saying about the just Cosmovision being very open and like, you know, they're having like these different sides, you know, with the electronic music, but then also just like different sounds and like kind of like a Latin and world music just feel to it and like for me it's been a really good like way to get into performing and being kind of like making this style of music has it's been new for me, but it's also it goes well I think with what I already had before, you know, like it's been cool to work with Unga and do with Eli and you know we work well together like in terms of the music, you know, and he always
And
tries
everything else.
to yeah
That's just good that we are a bunch
Just
of
saying,
group of
just
friends, so
saying.
you can see it. This type of jokes.
yeah no we you know it's been nice to just be able to compliment each other like that and like yeah, for me it's been a really good like source of like expression and also inspiration from everybody else, from like Ultra K, you know, like I'm inspired by, you know, how you like put yourself out there and all your, you know, like how much stuff you're always doing, you know, like trying new things and so yeah, it's been really good.
Yeah, definitely. What about you, Ultra? Like Anna was saying, like you're a super crazy cool performer, showwoman, and everything. What's your deal with Cosmovision?
It's really like a gate to the stars, to be honest. And when I knew that the name of the collective was Cosmovision,
Ouais.
it didn't maybe click that much. But then when I started to see and listen, and then we started to play together at the Olympic Stadium. So for me, it
The
was
first
just
gig.
like an Olympic gig. Oh, okay.
True.
So
Les
not only
jardiniers.
that.
Yes.
No, wait, mais attends.
Yeah.
La chose c'est que, bueno, escuchen ustedes, estoy hablando a veces en otros
Tu hablas en anglais, s'il te
¿Ves?
plaît.
Se me salió. So what really happened is that I knew that Unga was going to play, and Unga has always been my angel. From the time we played together at the mountain, he always gets me where he can, and vice versa. So Unga and I became friends like a long time ago. And that night, I knew he was going to play there, so I went with the hope that he would let me sing. But then Felipe was there, and I just told him like, you know,
Hey,
like,
I'm a
oh,
singer.
she's there. Like, okay,
First time we
fine,
meet.
go ahead and sing.
First time we meet. Hey, I'm a
Oh, I
singer.
didn't
And
know.
so
Yeah.
that stayed from there. And then from that time, Felipe gave me this huge opportunity to start doing tracks with him, and then book. Then we had this summer together. But I think overall is that like I've seen us all trying, and every year, like it's for me, I've been here like 20 years in Montreal, and Cosmo has been the last 2 years in my life. So each year had his own like pace. You know, I feel that in the beginning we were more like getting to know each other, and okay, it's your turn, or who's gonna play here or there. But then when after the first summer together, and then we started to really, you know, have the gigs indoors and just produce and do the albums and
Yeah.
collaborate. like all of a sudden I found myself in half of the Cosmovision crew were my friends already for the years before. So in the end, thanks to that time invested in my life, I have pretty much stepped on main scenes, little scenes, medium scenes, hidden scenes, underground scenes. So all the scenes possibly existing in Montreal,
Désolée,
I
je
have
peux
tried.
pas.
Non, c'est juste pour te dire, la peinture dans la vedette, c'est quelque chose.
And
Oh.
so, ok.
Qu'est-ce qu'il a dit?
Okay, sorry.
On a des problèmes techniques. Il a l'air qu'on a des choses interdites.
Mais oui.
Okay.
Translation: we have been caught in doing something that's not supposed to be done. Apparently,
Okay.
what do we do?
Désolée, j'ai pas pensé.
Oh my god.
Du coup, ça devient comme n'importe quoi.
Well,
It's gonna be
this
okay,
is,
guys.
you know, this is live TV.
Okay.
You know,
It is what it
anything can happen here.
Yeah,
So
this is the proof of the city we're living.
Okay. Sorry, there was a
What?
neighbor.
There was a fly.
There was.
dijo, cállate un rato, por favor.
¿Qué te dijo? Okay, translation. What are we doing wrong? What are we doing wrong for your neighbor?
Hmm?
What's
What are we
happening?
doing? Oh well, the
Está hablando en
because we were
inglés.
painting in
Oh.
the ruelle and the
Ajá.
alleyway,
Oui.
and apparently like we painted a bit on the streets on the floor
Oh,
of the
Oh,
alley,
come on.
God.
and they were not happy.
You're supposed to like not go after the line. Like you should paint better. Like come on. No, well,
Well,
I'm
we,
sure I heard you apologizing. It's
Okay,
like,
my neighbor is
fine.
not happy with me. He just walked off and like was looking back and like not happy.
Take it easy, man.
Well,
You're talking with
It's gonna be
Ansoara and
okay.
Ultra K. Come on.
now I know. Yeah.
No, well, it's all good. But that's a good example of, the unexpected turns that one can have. You're doing a gig here, you're doing a gig there, and then the people that's involved. I think we got to this fusion. I think in between all of us, we got to know each other very well. We know all of the
Yeah.
members of Cosmo. We know when there's another adding up. We know all of our music. And so when we play together, I really, honestly, personally, have a lot of fun. I feel like I'm really like in a caravan, like a caravan, like doing a super show, like going throughout the countries and the space. And the most fulfilling thing, or what makes me happiest, is the diversity. Like I can be dancing, starting with you and I on our show, and then we have find a formula also to the structure of our gigs, like what's good to open, what's good to make them dance, what's good to like finish this
That's
gig.
true.
And I have found that fantastic because at the end of a gig we have all the instruments on scene, and everyone can know from Cosmo that if you're there in the night, you can just step on the stage, and we have done these crazy things to close our shows with 10 people on the scene. And doing this super orchestra
Cosmo Orchestra.
kind of they're doing these experiences that only at that moment can happen, and that's the most important thing. Like Cosmo has become a nucleus, a real constellation, and I really feel proud to be part of it. Thank you so much.
Oh, we are very grateful to have you on both in the tribe, because at the beginning, personally, girls, like I was, one of my biggest fears was that Cosmovision became like a guys club, It was like, no, man,
Yeah.
like, no. But then, like, little by little, we had these beautiful singers, super talented performers, and this and this and that. And yeah, I think it's good as well to invite all the girls, the women who want to, share like their art, and they feel that they have something like common to our proposal. The doors are 100% open for everyone who wants to share. Right? So
Yeah, we
yeah,
have
and
to
so
mention
thanks to
the
you, and
Mansionettes.
it's been like a Ultra. It's been like a really nice, beautiful discovery to, because I didn't know you. You know that I'm new in Montreal. I'm newer than you.
Yeah.
I've been here 2 years, so I didn't know you. And I saw
Oof,
like
sí.
Ansuara when she started, and then you. Ultra K. I didn't know you before, so I was like, oh, whoa, she's crazy.
¿Y esa
Cool.
quién es? La loca.
She's trippy. She's trippy. I said, Ultra K is trippy. So because trippy is cool. Like voila, that's it.
Qué lindo. Para mí también. Y no, perdón que te interrumpiera. Lo que quería decir era nada más que mencionar a Catrina y a Rafael, pero seguro las vas a invitar por ahí.
True. We are gonna invite them as well. Katerina y Rafael, of course, they're gonna have their little Cosmo Talk as well, because they have another. There are other two women who create here in the tribe, and Rafael is an amazing singer, beautiful spiritual voice, and Katerina as well. He has a very cool, way of putting her music, and they've been doing all this. They've been like living this evolution as well, like you, or for me, like for example, you, Anna, and Soara. It's been like, wow, like since the first songs then to the last, it's like, wow, you're like for a big scenarios, and it's kind of the jewels that in a record label you find and you polish, and they become bigger all with time.
Yeah, well, it's been really great to like, kind of like grow with you guys as everybody's like, because I feel like everybody's developing their like the sound, also like the Cosmovision sound, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's been really cool.
I want to ask you now, like we're finishing now, because otherwise I'm sure we can stay for hours talking, but I want to ask you, Anna, first. Like, I know a little bit of your plans for the future, right? But I want to know, like, musically speaking, and also your visual art side as well. What's on the future now with this in these strange times that I think are unfolding now finally?
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's a little bit, everything is a little bit uncertain right now, like just, when shows will be and all this kind of thing, but definitely I'm working on some painting, so I'm gonna be doing more portraits, and I hope that in actually Las Lobas Collective is gonna have a show. What it was supposed to be next March, or March, but now it might get a little bit. It might be a bit after, depending on how everything goes. But yeah, we have some this show that we're. It's actually it's gonna be like a tribute to aunties, and our idea was to invite for it to be very like multi-generational.
Wow.
And for everybody to just like celebrate.
That's cool.
The aunties, and we're gonna have just
Las
there's gonna be like
amazing.
a little party, but also there's gonna be like we're gonna do installations and have all of us are gonna do a project for it. So I'm really
Wow.
hoping that can happen like sooner rather than later.
Uh-huh.
So that's coming up, and then otherwise I'm working on some painting. I'm working on some planters. I'm just like painting because I'm also a gardener, so I'm doing some like planters from recycled materials. So yeah, I'm excited about just like doing a lot of production this summer,
Beautiful.
I think, and when we can start to put it all out there,
Where are you, Ultra?
I'm here.
And
It's just that my neighbor decided
back.
to start my neighbor decided to start repair whatever, and like that is like so like so I'm like,
Corona
okay, bye.
repairs.
Yeah, no, forget it. I'm back to inner side,
Yeah, to
inwards.
to the Ultra K vortex. And what about you, Ultra K?
Well, me, I am everywhere. Like I really feel that I'm divided sometimes. It's really hard to be isolated, and it makes us stronger. And even if you don't want or you don't know how to, like all of a sudden we have all become, mutants that can stand every type of weather or mandatory things or whatever they say. Well, okay, well, we can adapt. But in
Yeah.
my time for
Your future project for music.
defining, but that's what I want to say. Like,
Yeah.
because we are going through this, I had so many projects that were starting. I had so many applications that were submitted. I had so many things that I was putting all my heart and soul with it. And then boom, this thingy came, and so it brought also a different type of work. So I've been streaming a lot with artists that are new scenes for me. I've never stepped onto the transsexual scene and like the you know supporting the transmission project I have with Gigi. Yeah, it's Gigi Sokolov. She's a super known artist in the field. It's super underground, but her music is really for another universe related to the sound of video games and the geek part of the music. And she's a super nice person, and she kind of opened this new world of other female artists that are also in the trend for electronics, and I didn't know. So that's a very nice project I'm starting. I also have I have my own project that I'm starting with another producer here that's pending. I don't want to say names, but it's really all in standby for COVID. And I think it's more because it takes me the time to create the music and doing it. But we all know it's not all about producing. No, we're all waiting for this. At least an estimated time to know how it's gonna get to the closest to what it was before. So it's interesting to see that now the internet is letting us do all these new projects. And so that's one. I have also been working with the Isabela Salas. That's another super known erudite scientist. So Isabela Salas is more in the scientific field for artificial intelligence. We're doing projects with photograph and sound.
Bit of installation as well.
Yeah, she's really into the Gamma Lab for now, and she's really getting to new projects that are all related to our artificial intelligence that I'm fascinating by. So that's a huge one. Like, I really wish we can get that to Mexico. That's a plan I have. And I'm also getting maybe a little break because I'm going to get a surgery for my hip that I need to replace. I had an accident long ago. And so I'm about to repair my hip after 25 years. I'm going to have a hip replacement. And that's pretty much the biggest change I have coming up because everything goes to that. If I can have my health and I can run back again and I can just have another 10 years of motion and mobility, I can do whatever. And so that's going to come up. I have a lot of plans with Cosmo too. You know that.
Yeah. I personally miss a lot the times we share like on stage, like for the people like who don't know us, like Ultra and me, we play together, and with Anna we usually play one next to each other. So we've been
it's true,
in many stages, all the three of us.
Yeah.
Many festivals together in for festivals and parties, and like it's something that I love to be in the studio. I guess you too like to record, to produce, and everything.
Yeah.
But I'm sure you miss as well a little bit the energy of the gigs.
Yeah, for sure. Like that was my blood every night.
Yeah, of course. You are the queen of the Cosmo stage. What about you, Anna? Do you miss the stages as well?
I miss it. Yeah, I mean, I feel like because I'm kind of like getting used to it. I don't miss it as much as probably Ultra does. but I definitely, it's like it's always really fun. Like after doing a party with you guys, or like Illusions Festival was super fun.
Oh, that was amazing.
Yeah, that was really
that was a nice one.
That was a
Yeah.
really good one.
Big hug to
Uh,
the Illusion family.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm excited to see when we can do another thing. Yeah.
We're gonna make
So what's the plan?
a little Cosmo gathering now that we can legally gather like 10 people and stuff. So we're gonna like bring like
Yeah. 10.
drums and stuff the good old way. No electronics for now. Drums and guido, claves, and the singers. That's it.
Ah.
Ooh.
That's it.
It's a must.
So get ready to groove it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fine.
So, well, we're finishing now our Cosmo Talk. It's been very, very fun today. And do you want to say something to the people? Any type of advice or anything you want to communicate? Because we're saying goodbye to everyone for now.
Me, I just want to say that there's a new album coming for the volume 2 for the Animals, and my track is there, and it's the Luciole. Listen to it; it's super nice.
Luciole. What does the Luciole mean
Ooh.
in English and
Firefly.
Firefly?
Firefly.
En
Luciérnaga.
español, Luciérnaga. Voilà. Okay, super.
Okay. Nice.
Super.
I've no, I well, we're working on an EP. Me and Unga, so that should be we're working on like releasing it soonish. So we'll let everybody know when it's out there.
Yay!
Perfect.
Yeah.
Super.
Yeah.
Okay, like that's very nice, and thanks to all the people who's was sharing with us in live chat and Facebook, YouTube, everything, and keep stay tuned to the Cosmovision Records media, SoundCloud, everything. We're releasing stuff all the time, and yes, as Ultra said, we're soon gonna be releasing Animals of the Earth Volume 2, so keep an eye on that. And thank you very much for all the good vibes that everyone around the world gives us.
Yes. And
And,
thank you, Felipe.
Thank
We love
you,
you,
girls, for
Felipe.
being
We
so
love you,
nice
Felipe.
and sharing this time with us. And all the best for you, Anna, and all the best for Ultra K as well.
Waving. Yes, waving, people. Waving.
All our crew, and see you later, alligator.